to give a summary and analysis of which one will I do? Um, I'll do the Wife of Bath, uh, and the prologue of the Wife of Bath for the Canterbury Tales as a part of the Canterbury Tales. Um, this story. So the Wife of Bath. I'm not sure what her name is, but if that's her name, it's a pretty weird name. It's probably not her name, but she's a she is a interesting character, to say the least. Um, it starts off like the beginning is. Even have a. I did not come prepared for this. Give me 1 second. At the beginning of the story, the Wife of Bath talks about how talks about how she is justified to marry um to keep to marry multiple people. I think that's what it says. Consecutive marriages, yes. She talks about how she's trying to justify, according to the Bible, that it is morally right to marry, to have concurrent marriages. Not concurrent, but consecutive marriages. So like marriages one after the other. Like after you finish marrying, you can marry another person. Because she says that God um like she says like in the text it says, but well I know expressly it's no lie that God bade us to wax and multiply. And then in the footnote of that it says Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. So she's using the Bible to justify her actions of consecutive marriages. And then she says, this gentle text I can well understand. Also, well I know he is my husband. Okay, that's not the right part. But of no number a mention made he. Wait, no, that is the right part. Also, well I know he said my husband should leave mother and father and cleave to me. But of no number a mention made he of bigamy or of octomy. And in the footnote it says, bigamy involves like more than one, like 2 to 8. No, octomy is 2 to 8. Bigamy is 2 consecutive marriages. Octomy is 8 consecutive marriages. And then she says, why then should men speak of it villainy? So he's saying, so God didn't. I'm hopefully I'm interpreting this right, but what she's saying is that God did not tell her that it was wrong. That bigamy or octomy was wrong. Although I feel like that's very obviously wrong. But so she's gonna just do it anyway. And that's something I really don't like about that character. Her justifications for doing things that are immoral are just very absurd. And I don't know how she's able to lie to herself. And I don't know how she can be at peace knowing that she does terrible things to people. But that's going to be later in the section. I'll talk about that more. I'll talk about the terrible things she does later in the section. I sit up straight. Jeez. Okay, we're kind of getting sidetracked because I'm just explaining my beliefs on this character, or my opinions on her, when you get back to this summary. So yeah, she talks about like that in the beginning, how he should she should just be able to marry, how she had 5 husbands, and she doesn't care about what anyone says about she doesn't care about any scrutiny she gets from anybody. She's very proud of it too. And it's been a while. It's been like 2 days, around 2 days, maybe a Monday. It's been like a full day since I've actually read this book, so kind of rusty. Like, I don't, since I've read this story, or this tale, this prologue. But yeah, like, we need to continue. I should have wrote notes. That would have helped a lot. Now that I'm thinking about it. So I realized that if I would have read this, and then did a summary, the knowledge would have still, most of this knowledge would have still been in my head. But since I'm just doing this video out of the blue, like, because I can't sleep, I'm not gonna be able to comprehend what's going on. But basically, I'm trying to interpret this line right here. It says, "He held virginity more perfect than to wed from frailty. Frailty, I call it, unless he and she wish to lead all their lives in chastity." So she's calling people who get married and have sex, that's called frailty. Perfect than to wed from frailty. Wed from, like, oh, maybe he's saying that you need to be a virgin before you become married. Let's see who's saying this. Who's saying this? Oh, this is also from the Bible. This is from Corinthians, I think. Could be wrong. Corinthians, but I think it's an apostle. It's apostle talking about it. Yeah, it's an apostle of, I don't know who. But it's an apostle of someone. Probably Jesus, maybe. I don't know. I have no clue. But I'm gonna say that you need. He's saying that, like, it's better to wed. It's better to um virginity is like the best place to be married. And if you marry someone and you're not already a virgin, then it's a frail relationship, I think is what he's saying. And so he's like holding virginity as like a perfect. So like no, he's saying that virginity is better than already having sex before marriage. I've repeated that like a lot, but you know what? It doesn't matter. What happens next? If I can think, I kind of just have to use my brain here. But she talks about each of the 5 husbands and how she was able to control the relationships and have power because I think most of the husbands were rich. So what she would do is they were rich and old, so she would use her so she was young. She would use her smart she would use her wits to and her like I guess yeah, her wits, and she would manipulate her husbands through her wit and her sexual attractiveness. So like she would say like unless you do this, I'm not gonna have sex with you or something. I'm pretty sure that was one of the things, and that was something that happened within the story. Um, but yeah, she argues with she does that to get money, to get land. She's gotten like land from 3 different husbands. So she's really good at manipulating people. She has a lot of experience with it. Here it says like I don't know, so there would you all done her no service. I don't know, this isn't really relevant. But yeah, that's basically like a very brief summary, not a good summary at all of the story. Oh yes, here is where she talks about the power that all women have apparently to manipulate other human beings. Yet it tickled his heart because then he thought, wait, no, this is not the part. Whatever, I'll just start here. Yeah, it tickled his heart because then he thought that I had for him such great fancy. I swore that all my walking out at night was to spy on wenches he was holding tight. Using that cover, I enjoyed much mirth. Okay, so this is her manipulating him. Um, um, Again, and then it says it gets to the point. It says, "For all such wit is given us at birth. Deceit, weeping, and spinning God did give to women by nature all the time they live." So, deceit, weeping, and spinning. I don't know what spinning is, but maybe like that's like flipping the blame, or like making it seem like like acting like a victim to get what you want. Weeping is definitely like that. Deceit is like trickery. So yeah, it's kind of like she views her manipulation, um, her power to manipulate, as a God-given gift, which I do agree with her. Like, she is pretty good at manipulating. Um, but I also kind of like, she's kind of, I do not like this character. She's annoying. Um, Talks about her fourth husband was a reveler, no, a reveler. This is to say, he had a paramour, and young and full of wantiness was I, stubborn, strong, and jolly as a magpie. So I don't know what that is, but it has something to do with the Middle Ages. And I danced when the small harp was playing, like a nightingale was all my singing. When I had drunk my draught of fine sweet wine, Metellus the foul shore the swine, who with a staff bereft his wife of life, because she drank wine, if I were his wife. Okay. Um, so like, because this part just talks about how one time this lady was drinking wine, and this guy killed her with a staff because she didn't want her to drink wine. It's just, that's what it says, and it seems very random and out of place, but I'm sure it goes with the context of the story. I would just literally turn the page. What I did is I turned the page and read a random part of this story. But yeah, let's see if I have any other things in here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of just looking for things that I underlined, and I'm reading them aloud. And I'm trying to show you what type of character what type of person she is, and what like qualities she has. Here it says, "But yet I always had a coltish tooth, gap tooth was I, and that became me well. With Venus's seal I'm printed, I can tell." So this coltish tooth, they're talking about like youthful. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. She's talking about how she likes younger men. Like, that's outrageous. She's One of her husbands is a 20-year-old man, and when she's um and during the course of the marriage with him, she's in her 40s. Like, that is not right. Like, that's whack. That's whack, as Gen Z people would say it, as our generation would say. Um, oh, freaking posture's awful. Anyway, yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Venus, and with Venus's seal imprinted, I can tell. Venus's seal. What's that? Let's see. In the footnote, it says an alluring birthmark. Birthmark. Like, she. Yeah, and it says more here. It says, "So help me God, I was a lusty one, and fair and rich and young and well begun. And truly, as my husbands all told me, I had the best quanam there might be. Okay, so she's talking about her genitals in this one. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna post this video, because this is like not like, this makes me a little uncomfortable just to talk about this on this video. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, but um she's prideful about her her looks, and she's talking about it, um and yeah, quanam in this context is meaning, you know, her you know what I mean, like her thing, bro. Like, that's what she's referring to when she says quanam, which is literally, which in Latin translates literally to whereas, and it's slang for the female genitals. That's what it says in my foot mark. No, foot mark, footnote. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, kind of crazy. I could keep reading, and then she says, I'm just gonna keep doing this. This is kind of, it's a little entertaining, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's like, the only reason it's entertaining is because it's shocking. It's like, this is crazy. Like, I did not expect this level of, like, graphic, like, this level of vivid imagery. Like, I don't, I have a lot of images in my head right now that I don't like, that's really bringing the story to life, you know what I mean? So let's see what it says. For certainly I'm all Venerian, and feeling in my heart is Martian. So what does this mean? So Martian, belonging to Mars, the Roman god of war. So her heart is Martian. So like, her heart is cold. She doesn't care about like this. How I interpret this is, what she's saying is that she doesn't care about, like, she doesn't actually love anyone in these relationships. She's doing this for her own self gain. She's selfish. And she's doing this because, you know, she just wants money and she wants pleasure. That's what I'm getting out of this. And she says that she's fine with, she just openly admitted that she's a horrible person. Like, that's actually, like, that's crazy. And then, Venus gave me my love and licorice, and Mars gave me my sturdy hardiness. My accident sign Taurus, with Mars therein. Taurus. Who's that? Oh, it's a zodiac sign. Whatever. Alas, alas, that ever love was sin. I always followed my inclination, by virtue of my star's constellation. So, that speaks for itself, honestly. Thus I could not withdraw. I was made so. My chamber of Venus for my good fellow, yet I have Mars' mark upon my face. So in the footnote it says Mars' mark is probably a birthmark. No, a red birthmark. So I'm gonna dog on her because she deserves dogging. But she's pretty much just ugly, bro. Like, she's ugly. I'm just gonna say that because I don't like her. And also, in another private, see, you didn't have to say that. Whatever. It makes you even more uglier. For as God, as wise is my salvation, I have never loved in moderation, but I always followed my appetite, should he be long or short, or black or white. I took no heed, so long as he liked me, of how poor he was, or of what degree. Okay. She follows her appetite. She has no moderation. she doesn't care. I mean, that's good, I guess. She's not prejudiced towards anyone. It says here, what should I say? But at the month's end, this pretty clerk, this Jenkins, so handy, he wedded me with. Okay, so it's talking about one of her brothers in this paragraph. Um, yeah. So this one, so what I just read was just a a portion from one of the brothers. It's talking about one of her marital relationships with her. I think this was her last husband, and this husband turns out to be very abusive, and he's not a good guy either. And then she wakes up and is like, man, I am 20 years older than this guy, and I'm getting taken advantage of. And then she pulls this move where she's like, where like they're fighting over a book. The book is I've been talking for 26 minutes. Wow, I need to wrap this up. So the book is a really prejudiced, sexist book, talking about how women are. If I can find it, let me see if I can find it real quick. So I am either too tired to interpret what they're talking about. So I am either too tired to interpret what they're talking about. I am not really understanding what they're talking about, or I'm just reading it too fast. I think I'm reading it too fast. But anyway, they're fighting over a book that she read to him. Like the husband was always reading this book that was really misogynistic, and one time she got mad, so she ripped the paper out of the book, which is like you don't do that in medieval times, because to have books, like to have printed books, was a luxury back then, and she just ripped them. She just ripped the pages out of it. And then like he like hits her like on the side of the head so hard that she loses her hearing, and um and then like I'm pretty sure she like pretends that she's dead so that he can get in trouble and say that, and she can like say that she got murdered. Whereas what I was confused about is like, if she tells people she got murdered, no one's gonna believe her because she's not murdered if she's telling someone she got murdered. So I was a little confused about that, but it's whatever. Anyway, that was one of the married. That was one. I think that was the last husband that got married, or that that was the last husband that she had that hit her. Yeah, the one that hit her was the last husband. So that is 29 minutes worth of the prologue, which could have been a lot faster if I was more succinct, but I was not succinct. I'm gonna give I don't have time. Maybe I'm gonna do another video, since this video went so long. I'm gonna do another video for the Wife of Bath's Tale. I was meaning to do it all in one video, but this video just went way too long, and I need to go to bed. So, peace out, guys.